Well, I was incredibly disappointed in David R. Hawkins. Now, remember, Dr. Hawkins of consciousness research. Well, when he was making his he was in his pretty much in his 80s when he was making his a lot of his videos. He kicked the bucket 2012, and some of I mean the main body of his work is essential reading. But he is a man of his times, and that generation of people were meat eaters, and the generations before them were meat eaters. So, okay, so Laurent the Devil is calling it. Well, it's just that the video when Dr. Hawkins was talking about it, he said essentially meat eating causes us to have enormous herds of cattle, which gives those cows the opportunity to have a life. If we didn't eat meat, we wouldn't have enormous herds of cattle, and thus it's a net benefit to them to live a life and then be slaughtered so we can eat them. And they're so good. And then, somehow them supplying us with food is somehow beneficial to their soul growth. He's a meat eater, and he is making a justification for, well, the madness of killing sentient beings for food. Because we're told that, like, long before these enormous herds of cattle came for eating for us on, farmland or factory farms, we had the Texas, what was it, Texas Longhorn? I don't know, it was the different, the buffalo, where the deer and the antelope play, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day. Home, home on the range, where the deer and the antelope play, etc. So, it was just the stories of the West was there was no fencing. It was wide open for you to go wherever you wanted. And it was later on when these ranchers came and made it private land that, we no longer have those enormous herds of wild cows, wild buffalo. So it's a stupid argument, and I guess I'm still, that wouldn't really hurt. Because those old generation people, even the ones today, they don't want to give up the meat eating. And then there's people my generation that refuse to give up meat. And then it just pisses me off that the younglings, the children of these meat eaters are told. I mean, they're not even told. I mean, you're fed meat from, I don't know, whenever you can start eating meat, or I don't know, 2.5 years or whatever. I don't know. So you're just used to it. That's just normal food stuff. And you grew up from it from the time you're a baby. It's just second nature to eat it. And the whole story about meat is rarely presented to children. And the children, they're presented with every other thing. They made to read horrific novels about wars in Africa and people dying and being maimed. But they're not told. It's actively suppressed. Slaughterhouses. I mean, seriously, it should be, basically, I don't know. 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 Children should be shown all about the killing of animals because they often have their own pet dog, and then, so I don't know. I mean, they go to petting zoos where you do a petting do. I don't know. You go and you pet the thing, and then you say, yeah, I do, or something. I don't know. Anyways, because people should understand that even though I often talk about various spiritual teachers and authors, um, they're all human. And they're all prone to make mistakes. And it's up to us to say, if something doesn't resonate with us, You can look and see why. And I'm going to say, well, those generations were adamant that meat was good for them in many ways. Still, people say today, it's for your iron or your protein. And it's a pile of fucking malarkey because it's propagated by an enormous food industry. They don't want to give up this enormous profitable business. And, the consumers, I don't know, a lot of dumb bunnies that just never consider these things, or maybe only hear about it, and then next time when they're in a store, I was one of those kind of people. I suppose I was for many years. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, we're desensitized a lot to death. It's so strange. It was always commented over the years. In the 1970s, the cop shows were like every show on TV was, there was a shooting, someone died, a crime, and then the cops go around and all, just constantly shooting, and became trivial. It's just trivial to watch somebody, and you automatically knew that someone was going to get shot and someone would die, and it didn't seem horrible because they didn't show the grieving families or anything. They immediately, it was somebody died, and then it switches to the cop, and they got to catch the bad guy. And the bad guy's a lot like Sideshow Bob from the Simpsons. So very skewed. That criminals are charming or something. Anyway, you get desensitized to people dying on all the TV shows all the time. And when somebody really dies, it's not trivial like it is on TV, but you get desensitized to so much. And then the flip side of it was they never show any love on TV. It's always perfectly okay to show all kinds of killings. Western movies, I mean, people getting shot all the time, and it's trivial. Like getting shot is no big deal. I don't know. There's just another movie, much more cowboys, and they're shooting again. They're shooting again. It's just it's Cowboy Bob or something. But the flip side was they wouldn't show any kind of love. Like really, like heavy censoring of nudity. It was okay to have people's heads blown off, but you can't show the private parts. It would be rated X, and it'd have to go on special pay TV. And that kind of sex, it was, well, I don't know. It wasn't love sex. It was porn actors who were doing a job. And so you watch that porno, and then people's minds become like, you're porno actors or whatever, and you're treating the other people that you're having sex with like they're just items. No, they're not people. They're not sentient beings. They don't have. I don't know. It just seems like it becomes. I don't know. But that wasn't allowed on TV. Murder and rape and everything is allowed on TV, but you know, people in love making love was never allowed. It was often, people had sex after they got really drunk and then they regretted it later. So these are the messages that you get at a young age from the television. And then, we get distorted and we get desensitized to violence. Video games, perhaps. Although when I played shoot 'em up video games, I never thought that I would take my video game where I'm shooting some monster into, Columbine or anything. I don't know. Okay, maybe that's stretched. I don't know. Maybe it's just I can't tell you anything more than just these particular items. So, anyways, it's just that um, when we heard about this other part about the eating of the animals again in Dr. Hawkins, it just seemed like sanctimonious the way that he presented that particular question. So use your discernment, and if what these spiritual teachers doesn't resonate with you because it's unkind. In essence, that's what it is. So Dr. Hawkins, we feel, is promoting unkindness. And so that's a fault, and we'll have to forgive him for that. Well, I'm not going to forgive you for that. Why? Well, I don't know. What does it mean to forgive you for that? It means I condone you eating meat because of your advanced age. I'm not going to condone it ever. It's called calling out the dark, the darkness, the evil. Just saying that's dark, that's evil. And using your voice and continuing to say, because we get continuous evil broadcast to us on that fucking television. That fucking television, if you have one, what you should go is take it in the backyard and get a sledgehammer and smash it to smithereens as a symbol of no more fucking lies coming through there, no more fucking propaganda, and no more special brainwashing. That's exactly how I feel. Anyways, so, easy steps to help you get to the fifth dimension where you're about to go. I mean, some things that can maybe be holding you down are your meat eating. So please stop eating meat from a spiritual perspective, from kindness perspective. Please stop drinking booze, and tell everybody to go and smash their television into smithereens in the backyard. Thank you very much. Please subscribe and share. And don't forget, I make lots of videos and I cover all kinds of stuff. And if you have questions, please let me know. And I'll try and see if I can make a video for you on your question.